According to popular myth, Christmas was an ancient pagan holiday. As the myth goes, Christmas is linked to ancient pagan celebrations for the false deities such as Mithras, Sol Invictus, or the winter solstice celebration of Saturnalia. Some believe that the Emperor Constantine and his imperial church appropriated one of these three celebrations as Jesus' birth date to counteract paganism. Therefore, historically December 25th had nothing to do with Christianity or Christ. Historically, no one related Christmas to paganism until the 12th century, when a Syrian bishop named Jacob Barsalabai wrote this in reference to the nativity being moved from January 6th to December 25th. Quote, "It was a custom of the pagans to celebrate on the same December 25th the birthday of the sun, at which they kindled lights in token of festivity. In these solemnities and revelries the Christians also took part. Accordingly, when the doctors of the church perceived that the Christians had a leaning to this festival, they took counsel and resolved that the true nativity should be solemnized on that day." End quote. Since this myth is so prevalent today, it leads to the assumption that there must exist ancient text which predates Christianity, showing that the December 25th date for Jesus' birth was grounded in paganism. Yet no such proof exists. There are only two pagan sources linked to December 25th. Both post-date Christianity. The first is from 274 AD, when the Emperor Aurelian initiated the Games of Sol. These games took place in August, October, and December. However, the December Games took place on December 14th, not the 25th. This leaves us with the second and remaining Sol source, the chronography of 354 AD, which lists Natalie's Invicti on December 25th. Quote, "On December 25th, birthday of the unconquered, games ordered, 30 races," end quote. The chronography is likewise predated by early Christian writings that listed December 25th as the birth date of Christ. Furthermore, scholars state that the title, Natalie's Invicti, could have been used in reference to Christ, rather than Sol, since some Roman Christians titled Jesus the Unconquered. You may be wondering where this myth came from, since there is no ancient proof to support it. For that we come to Alexander Hislop and Hermann Usner, who are two of the most frequently cited sources for the December 25th paganism myth. However, their research was not based on the actual ancient texts from the cults of Sol, Mithras, or the festival of Saturnalia. During the 18th and 19th centuries, authors like Hislop and Usner assumed that Sol and Mithras were the same deity. Therefore, if the chronography of 354 listed an observance for Sol on December 25th, these authors presumed that there must have been an observance for Mithras long before this time on the same date. No ancient text to support this assumption has ever been found. Many modern encyclopedias, including the Encyclopedia Britannica Online, reflect this fact in their updated works. Quote, "This view presumes, as does the view associating the origin of Christmas on December 25th with pagan celebrations of the winter equinox, that Christians appropriated pagan names and holidays for their highest festivals. Given the determination with which Christians combated all forms of paganism, this appears a rather dubious presumption." End quote. From Wikipedia. Quote, "The idea, particularly popular in the 18th and 19th centuries, that the date of December 25th for Christmas was selected in order to correspond with the Roman festival of Dies Natalis Solis Invicti, or birthday of the unconquered sun, is challenged today." End quote. In scholarship, it has been found that paganism appropriated Christmas from Christians. Professor Stephen Hidgmans, who is Associate Professor of Roman Art and Archaeology at the University of Alberta, wrote, quote, "In point of fact, the evidence for a religious festival of any kind for the sun god on December 25th is not only meager but also exceptionally late, as it dates to the second half of the 4th century AD. In fact, it postdates our earliest evidence for the celebration of Christmas." End quote. Sol is linked to Mithras and Mithras to Tammuz. However, a pagan observance on December 25th for any of these ancient false deities has never been found. Quoting Professor Stephen Hidgmans, "Of the mystery cult of Sol Invictus Mithras, we know little with certainty, and even if we leave aside the problem of the relationship between the Mithraic mysteries and the public cult of Sol, the notion that Mithraists celebrated December 25th in some fashion is a modern invention for which there is simply no evidence. End quote. Professor Jamie Alvarez-Cara, author, historian, and professor at the Charles III University of Madrid, wrote, quote, "There is no evidence of any kind, not even a hint, from within the cult that this, or any other winter day, was important in the Mithraic calendar. No Mithraic votive is dated December 25th, end quote. Likewise, no evidence of the celebration of Saturnalia on December 25th has been found. Quote, the Saturnalia occupy a position exactly between the Consualia of the 15th and the Opalia of the 19th of December. End quote. See Versional, H.S. Inconsistencies in Greek and Roman Religion, Transition and Reversal in Myth, page 165. Thus, Christians did not borrow the birth date of Sol, Mithras, or even Tammuz for Jesus. Nor did they appropriate the festival of Saturnalia, but rather Jesus' birth date was appropriated by pagans after the date of his birth was established on December 25th to counteract Christianity. This is only a portion of our research. For our full post containing all quotes from scholarship and historians, please visit our site at www.uncomplicatedchristianity.com.